we're going to be working on writing linear equations given the slope and a point intercept. And that's what you learned in the last lesson, is to write an equation of a line when you were given the slope and the y-intercept. In other words, you were given m and you were given b, and all you had to do was write it in slope-intercept form. This time, in this lesson, we're going to learn to write the equation of the line when you're given its slope and a point on the line. So it's not going to be quite as easy. Here are the steps that we're going to follow. To write an equation when given a point and the slope, the first thing is you're going to have to find the y-intercept because we have the slope. And earlier you told me the two things that you need in order to write the equation of a line are the slope and the y-intercept. Well, we're given the slope, but we don't have the y-intercept. So we have to find it. We have to calculate it. So we'll plug in the ordered pairs of x and y into the equation y equals mx plus b. We'll also include our slope in this equation. And therefore, the only unknown we'll have will be our b. Then once we have our b value, we have our slope, we'll have our y-intercept. We can write the equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, we're going to do an example next. Okay, so let's write the equation of the line that passes through the point 1, 5 and has a slope of 1. And we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. Okay, so the first step was to plug in your x and y coordinates into y equals mx plus b and include your slope. So which one's your y coordinate? The 5. So we have 5 equals, what's your slope? A -1. And what's our x coordinate? 1 plus b. Okay, now I have only one unknown or one variable. I can solve for that. Let's do the math. -1 times 1 is -1. So I have 5 equals -1 plus b. What do I do next? Add 1 to both sides. Good. And I get 6 equals b. Okay, so now I have the slope is -1. My y-intercept is 6. Can I therefore write it in slope-intercept form? Y equals -x, or you could put a -1x plus what? Plus 6. Okay, we have written that equation in slope-intercept form. Let me just graph this and show you how this actually worked. The y-intercept is 6. Let's just put 1, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that the right spot? Okay, that's our point. Then it says we have a slope of -1, which means what? Down 1, over 1, to the left, to the right. Down 1, to the right. Down 1 to the right. Okay, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. Or I could go up 1 to the left 1, correct? All right, now that shows you where is our y-intercept at 6. 0, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is our b. So see how it works? And once I get my point and my slope, I have to find the y-intercept. Okay, look at some practice problems now. We're going to write the equations in slope-intercept form. Okay, I have a slope, m equals 2. What's the other piece of information I need? I need my y-intercept, or b. And we don't know what that is, but how can I calculate that? Y equals mx plus b. And it's good to write that down to kind of refresh your memory again. I'm going to plug in the y ordered pair, part of the coordinate of my ordered pair. The y coordinate is 1 equals, what's your slope? 2, good. And what's the x coordinate of my ordered pair? 3 plus b. Okay, now I do the math. I subtract 6 from both sides, and -5 is equal to b. Now write it in slope-intercept form, and what do I get? Y equals 2x minus 5. Okay, the first step is y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in my x and y coordinates of the ordered pair. Y is a 2 equals, your slope is -3 times the x coordinate is 4. Okay, this gives me a -12, but now in order to move it to the other side, what do you do to both sides? Add 12. So we're going to add 12 to both sides, and I get 14 equals b. Therefore, your equation is y equals -3x plus 14. Okay, let's try number 3. When you get finished, compare with your partner, and I'll come check. Okay, the next one, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in my ordered pair. 2 for the y coordinate equals a -1 times 2 plus b. That is equal to -2. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and I get 4 is equal to b. Therefore, your equation is y equals, slope is -1, x plus 4, or you can write it y equals a -x plus 4. Okay, the next one. What do I plug in for y? 3 equals, slope is 1, your x-coordinate is 1 plus b. 1 times 1 is 1. I subtract 1 from both sides, and what's your b? 2. Y equals, your slope, 1x, or just x, plus 2. Thumbs up if you're okay with that one. Okay, let's do it. Okay, for this one, what will I put in for the y? 3 equals slope times your x, -1 plus b. I get -3, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And what do I get for my b? Your equation, y equals 3x plus 6. Make sure you show all your steps, please, when you're working them, making sure you show me what you put in for y and you put in for x. Because oftentimes if you make a mistake, I can look and see, hey, you just got them switched around. All right, the next one, your y coordinate is a -1 equals, slope is -2 times 0 plus b. So I get 0 here, so what is your b? -1. Y equals -2x minus 1 is your equation. Now let's take a look at this next one. In this case, what is my y coordinate? 1 equals, what's my slope? 1/2 times my x coordinate of -2 plus b. Here's where knowing your fractions comes in handy. What's a half times a -2 over 1? A -1. And what I need to do then to move my 1 over? Add 1 to both sides, and I get 2 is equal to b. Therefore, your equation is y equals 1/2 x, good, plus 2. Okay, the next one, your y-intercept is -2 equals slope, 2/3, y-coordinate, or excuse me, x-coordinate, -3 plus b. Okay, when I do the math, they cancel out, and I get what? A -2, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And what's b equal to? B equals a 0. -2 plus 2 is 0. Y equals, good, 2/3 x plus 0, or I could just leave it as y equals 2/3 x. What do you know about what this graph's going to look like? Where's it going to cross the y-axis? At 0, 0, the origin. Remember we talked about the direct variation ones earlier. Okay, and these last two, my y-coordinate, -4 equals slope, 0, my x, 1, plus b. So that's a 0, so I have -4 equals b. Y equals 0 times x is 0, y equals negative 4. Now, what kind of a line will that look like, horizontal or vertical? Horizontal, going across. Good. Okay, the last one. Your y-coordinate is negative 3 equals slope negative 5/2 times the x-coordinate of 1 plus b. Okay, so I multiply those together and I get negative 5/2. What do I do to both sides to move it over? Add 5/2, or 2.5. And what do you come up with? What's negative 3 plus 2.5? So it'd be negative 1/2 equals b. So your equation is y equals negative 5/2 x minus 1/2. And that concludes our lesson on writing equations, giving a point and the slope.